June 15th, 2024, we wake up early and travel west to Edon, Ohio, where we would set up for a long day's worth of chasing the Tri-State Scenic Steam Excursion. Ran by the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society, it's a unique opportunity to document a steam engine in revenue service. Nickel Plate Road 765 is leading the consist of 10 passenger cars. Guests can also ride the train by purchasing a ticket. This event is held a couple times a year, as well as other small events under the Indiana Northeastern Railroad Company, partnership with the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society. This small railroad is made up of volunteers that provide the opportunity to run these excursions and train events. The train will depart Edon, Ohio, and travel west to Steubenville, Indiana, where it will take a Y to travel north to Hillsdale, Michigan, going through 3 different states in just 3 hours. Edon is a small village in Williams County, Ohio, platted in 1867 close to the Indiana border, with a population of just 783 residents and one public school nicknamed the Bombers. This small town is quite literally in the middle of nowhere, but today brings a load of people to watch history unfold. As 9 a.m. rolls around and all passengers aboard, it's time for Nickel Plate Road 765 to lead the show west out of Ohio. NKP 765 is a S2 284 Berkshire type steam locomotive built in 1944 for the New York, Chicago, and St. Louis Railroad, commonly referred to as the Nickel Plate Road. After the train had taken the Y at Stubbinsville, we had set up at Pleasant Lake, Indiana, as the lighting became more favorable for photography. An old passenger station is situated here, as well as a siding for rail car storage. .765 was first assigned to Bellevue, Ohio, where it was used primarily on nickel plate roads fast freight trains. Its final revenue run came on June 14, 1958, when the 765 was activated to supply steam heat to a stranded passenger train. That December, it became the last nickel plate road Berkshire under steam. In the early 1970s, the newly formed Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society restored the 765 and operated it in mainline excursion service, making it the first mainline steam locomotive to be restored and operated by an all-volunteer nonprofit. Between 1993 and 2001, 765 was largely a static exhibit until a complete overhaul was commenced. Over a period of 5 years, 765 was completely dismantled, with its boiler, frame, and running gear separated and major components remachined or rebuilt completely. Overall, the rebuild consumed more than 15,000 hours and a cost of over $772,000. We're now in Reading, Michigan. With the big silos behind us, a line of railfans congregate along the ballast to catch a closer look at the excursion. The excursion train is now arriving in Hillsdale, Michigan. The Nickel Plate Road 765 excursion train successfully made it to Hillsdale. It arrived around 11:30 a.m. and will be parked here until 3 p.m., where it will make its trip back to Edon. For now, us, along with many passengers and railfans, went to get a closer look at the 765. This weirdly spinning light above the headlights is called a Mars light, a type of signal safety light used on most locomotives throughout the 1900s to increase safety before the standardization of flashing ditch lights we see nowadays. Mars lights use a variety of means to cause the light to oscillate vertically, horizontally, or both to catch the attention of motorists and pedestrians, instead of using a flashing strobe. We had also drove around the area to find two Indiana Northeastern Railroad locomotives, 2230, an EMD GP30 built in 1963, and 1602, an EMD GP9 built in 1957. After going to grab lunch and killing a bit of time, we waited as 3 p.m. came. The excursion train had went through a Y to reach the downtown boarding area, and now had to reverse the entire train back and traverse the Y once again to depart Hillsdale, destined back to Edon. First, they had to couple up to the rear locomotives once again. While the train was parked, they had added another locomotive to the rear of the consist, but had to park farther back not to block the railroad crossing. Now that the two locomotives are coupled, the train starts to slowly roll backwards. Here we can get a better look at the old heritage passenger cars, most still marked in their original Pennsylvania Railroad scheme. After fully reversing and lining the switch, it was time for Nickel Plate Road 765 to lead the Tri-State Excursion back to Edon. Unfortunately, we would only make the chase back through Michigan. This would be our final shot. Due to multiple factors, we ended up losing track of the train through Indiana. We opted not to wait for it to return to Edon, and instead chose to wrap things up and start heading home. We hope you enjoyed our documentary on the 765. It took me an entire day's worth of filming and an entire day's worth of editing to bring the best I could for my viewers. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.